everybody, it's Paige Evans and I have a new process video to share with you today. This is for a layout in the summer 2018 issue of Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine, and it's about our 10th anniversary. I'm starting with this paper from my pick-me-up collection. It's paper number 10, and I'm trimming these squares of pattern papers into 1-inch strips, and I'm going to roll these strips to create paper tubes to make a heart. So add a piece of super sticky double-sided tape at the top of the 1-inch strip and then just start rolling. I rolled it up about 1/8 of an inch and rolled it up 3 times before folding the top down. And not gonna lie, this hurt my fingers after a while, but it's all in the name of scrapbooking and I think it's worth it. So then I trimmed the squares into their individual patterns and then pinched them to make circular tubes. And I repeated that for 2 entire pages or 2 entire pieces of this pattern paper, and it was quite the process, but worth it. So I ended up with all of these pattern paper tubes, and then I cut a heart from cardstock. It can be any color of cardstock because it's going to get covered up, but just in case there's any gaps, I wanted it to be clean and fresh, so I used smooth white cardstock. And then I'm hand drawing a smaller heart on the inside, and I'm going to frame it with the paper tubes. So I'm just using a pencil, eyeballing it to create a heart, and then I'm going to use an X-Acto knife and cut out the inner heart. It doesn't have to be exactly precise. It's going to get covered up with the pattern paper tubes, but I couldn't get the right sized heart in the Silhouette software, so that's why I ended up hand drawing it. Alrighty, once the heart is trimmed out, time to add adhesive. So I'm using super sticky double-sided tape, and I'm going to place it around the outer edge as well as the inner edge of the heart. And I think the thinner the tape, the easier it is to curve around the edges of the heart. Go around, the outside edge, the inner edge, and then I'm coming in with wide super sticky double-sided tape to fill in some of the gaps, and then the other gaps I'll fill in with medium-sized double-sided tape. But I think the key is to just have a good coverage of super sticky tape all around the edges and the inside, and in the remaining gaps, as I'm putting the paper tubes around, I will fill it in with liquid adhesive. So remove the adhesive backing and then you are ready to begin. So just grab your tubes, and I'm starting here almost at the bottom, and I'm placing the paper tubes one at a time. Here's a tip: instead of adding it flush along the outside edge, place it flush along the inner edge. That'll help make trimming it down a little bit easier. Around the curves is where it gets a bit tricky, and it's going to be tight, and you'll really have to work the tubes in place and pinch the ends to make them slide in place easier. But just work with it. Just enjoy the process and have fun as you're making this work. I didn't trim all of the tubes. I didn't make all the tubes at the beginning because I did run out, which is why I say create 2 entire pages worth. And now I'm using a bone folder to flatten the paper tubes, and this will help fill in some of the gaps rather than trying to place more tubes and it just becoming too smushed. Try using a bone folder or a Teflon folder to flatten the tubes a little bit more to help expand them and cover up more of the white space. Alright, so I'm almost done, just placing a few more pieces. Like I said, I'm using liquid adhesive in some of the open spots, especially where it gets more crowded. You need extra adhesive to help these tubes stay in place. Using the bone folder again to flatten things out, and then I'm going to use a pair of scissors and trim off the excess. I was trimming the excess all along the way just to it helps see the progress and make it look more like the finished heart, and I like how it looks. So here we go. I'm going to trim off this last piece and then turn it over, and ta-da! A few of the tubes fell out Just added a bit more liquid adhesive and the heart is done. So at this point I was done for the day. I set it under a weight overnight, and then the next morning I was ready to continue. So I'm using my Pick Me Up collection to create this entire layout. I'm going to back the heart with this colorful polka dot paper. So I'm placing adhesive on the back. This is quite heavy. The heart is heavy with all of these tubes on it. So I recommend a pretty sticky adhesive when you're doing this, or hot glue, whatever your favorite super sticky tape is, and then I'm cutting it out loosely because you're never going to see the back, so it doesn't matter what it looks like when you trim it out. I'm going to use this ombre heart pattern paper, so it's lighter at the top and gets darker at the bottom for my background. And these are two pictures of us. For our 10th anniversary, we combined a scrapbooking trip down in Mexico City with our 10th anniversary. So my mom watched Fox and Jane while we went and enjoyed and sight saw, and then I taught a class, and it was a really great time. I'm using these chipboard thickers from Pick Me Up to create the title, which is Anniversary. At this point I haven't glued down the photos or the heart. I end up only using one photo, the color photo, because I just like the color that it adds. I'm almost always all about color. When I placed the anniversary stickers, I just created a rainbow, tried not to pick two of the same colors next to each other. And then for 10th, I'm using the mini foam alpha thickers that come and Pick Me Up. I'm using the white ones. There's also the royal blue ones. And now it's time to embellish. So flowers, flowers everywhere. I can never get enough flowers. And I'm going to edge them against the title. And to help do that, I'm going to trim off one edge to make it flat so that it will just butt right up against the title, using a mix of ephemera die cuts, chipboard stickers, and I might use puffy stickers too, but we'll see. Tucking a trio of flowers underneath the top left side of the heart, and then all along the title. That bit of the leaf was a little bit too dark green. I thought it kind of drew too much attention, so I just trimmed the leaf off, and who would know? Thought about adding another flower, but I think it was too much, so I just put it back on the sticker sheet and I will use it a different time. Now I'm coming in with the washi tape book. I want to create a scalloped edge around the left side of the heart, and I didn't know how I was going to place it, so you'll see me work through this process. Let's see, there's a little bit of a white edge next to the heart, so I just trimmed away most of that white space. And the washi tape is sticky, which is a good thing, but right now I wanted to figure out the placement, and it was hard for me to move the washi, and the heart wasn't adhered down, so things were moving around. And so to make it not sticky, I placed it on a piece of printer paper and then trimmed it down, and now it's much easier to work with and place it where I want it to go. So I'm liking how this is looking, edged around the heart, and so off camera I flipped the heart over, added some adhesive to the edge, and then smooshed the washi tape heart in place. Then I also came in with some machine stitching and stitched around the heart and stitched the title in place, stitched the flowers in place, and bent up the flower edges to create texture and dimension. And I love the texture that machine stitching adds, and it goes through the chipboard thickers pretty seamlessly. I'm coming in with stickers. I added 3 heart stickers over 3 of the polka dots in that paper inside the heart, and I'm adding sentiment stickers to the left side of the photo, number stickers for 2017, so last year was our 10th anniversary. This chipboard love banner sticker because we're in love. And just more sentiments that I thought went along with a 10th anniversary theme. There is a pack of journaling cards in Pick Me Up, and so I want to write my journaling on one, and here you can see me trying to decide which one to use, where it's going to go, and ultimately I end up using this one. And I always like to write my journaling first with a pencil and then go over it with a .03 black precision pen by American Crafts, and then I erase the pencil also with an American Crafts eraser, and it doesn't smudge, which is awesome. And that, my friends, is the finished layout. I hope you will give rolling paper a try and create a fun shape, whether it's a heart or a number, celebrating some kind of fun thing like an anniversary or graduation or a birthday. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in my next video.